Alright guys, I got my buddy over here. He came by. This is his first time using the spray gun, and he's just doing a few test passes. So let's see him do some work. So what do you think, man?
What do you think, man? Tell me.
That looks pretty good. You ready to paint my car?
Yeah.
Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. What started off to be a so-called easy project, just painting this front lip off a BMW 335xi. Became a living nightmare. We painted it once. We had runs and paint adhesion problems and pinholes. We painted it the second time. The second time, everything was laying down pretty good, but then we got a ton of runs right over here. Right lads, second paint job, nothing's going wrong, eh? We made our mistakes the first paint job, eh? That shit, dude. Let's make some more mistakes. Let's make this shit run like it's gonna run a fucking marathon. Yeah? How do you like them run, boys? Yeah? Fucking tasty, eh? Want some more of that? Shit. Fuck yeah. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Hell yeah, I get runs. I don't care who you are. People tell you they don't get runs. I'm not gonna say.
And unfortunately we weren't able to buff out those runs, so we gotta paint it again. So I'm a new painter. I'm learning. This whole Rustoleum thing is kind of tricky because there's no set ratios for mixing or spraying. That, you know, everything's not laid out in front of you as if you were getting a real paint, a real quality paint. Everything, the directions are all there. So for this video I had to change it up because I'm tired of the runs. So I'm okay to make a little thicker ratio, get a little bit of orange peel, but no runs, because this way we can at least buff out the orange peel. But buffing out runs, as you guys know, is crazy. So for this video, again, we are going to be using the Rustoleum gloss black paint, odorless mineral spirits as the solvent to dilute it in. And obviously this cup doesn't have the right built-in ratios right over here. The lowest one they have is 3:1. We already did 1:1, and the 1:1 was running, so 1:1 is 50-50. And this time we're just gonna go just about 4 ounces paint, and we're gonna do 6 ounces mineral spirits. So that's gonna give a 2:1 mixing ratio. It's gonna be a little bit thicker. And again, we're gonna check the runoff from the stick and see how many seconds it takes to drip off. And this is the ratio we're going with. Hopefully it's gonna be a little bit better spraying from this $10 Harbor Freight gun. So let's get into it. In this video I won't be showing all the steps as far as prepping, because obviously we're gonna wax and grease, remove everything. We're gonna tack cloth it, so that's where we're gonna catch up. I'm not gonna do it on video just for the sake of the video. It's very repetitive from the other videos. The only thing that is changing is the mixture right here. I got a little bit more lighting here, so I'm using this one. I'm using these 2 lights. I am gonna turn on this one only during painting so I could see, because it does give off quite a bit of heat. And I got this one right over here. It's a lot easier when you have reflections, so when you're spraying you actually see the wet coat accumulating and you don't go too heavy either. And the weather today is pretty nice, much better than the other day. It is about 86 degrees, 61 degrees humidity, so a lot warmer than yesterday and a lot lower humidity than yesterday. I don't think the humidity had anything to do with the runs. I think it was probably just the mixing ratio and how much fluid comes out of the gun. So for this video I'm gonna make sure I keep my fluid tip dialed in. I'm gonna do a lot of light coats and then see where we go. Hopefully this comes out better, because guys, this has been frustrating, man. Every day off that I have, I'm working on this project, and I just want a day off, you know what I'm saying? So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep watching. Alright guys, we got the Rustoleum. It's been shaken up, ready to go. Let's pop it up. So again, I think 6 ounces of total paint and solvent should be enough for this paint job. So let's go ahead and rock it out. Again, I'm going to be fairly quick in this video with what I do. So the first thing is, let's just mix the mineral spirits. We're going to look for 2 ounces. Again, this is going to be a 2-to-1 ratio. All right, perfect. That is good. So we're going to pour the paint up to 6. Alright, perfect. As you guys can see, we got 6 ounces, 2-to-1 ratio. Let's experiment. After all, painting Rustoleum is one big experiment. So we got the gun cleaned out already. We mixed it and rinsed it with mineral spirits. Let's mix up the paint here. And we're going to check the runoff time in a second. Definitely a little bit thicker than before with the 50-50 1-to-1 ratio. So let's see how this thing will lay down on the front lip of this. Again, the weather's a little bit better. I got the floor wet. We're gonna have these fans running, the exhaust fans. I don't have an intake fan. I just have an open area here for air to get in. Overall, good day to paint. Humidity could be a little bit lower, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, we mixed it up a little bit. So let's check off the runoff time of the stick. If you guys don't know what the runoff time is, well, I'll show you. It's pretty much going to check the viscosity of the fluid. They sell specific viscosity cups to check the mixing ratio and the fluid if it's going to be good enough to spray with the gun. But a quick and cheap and effective way to check if you're mixed properly for an HVLP gun is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, just check how long it takes to start dripping for the most part. 1 or 2 drips is okay, you can include that in your count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got about 4 seconds. Earlier, I believe we had about 3 to 4, so this might be right around that area as well. A little bit thicker though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, 4 to 5. Looks pretty good. Definitely a little bit thicker than before. So let's go ahead. Always make sure you guys use a paint strainer. You don't want to throw in more junk in the gun. You want clean, nice paint. Ready? Here we go. Well, that's a wrap. Seal the lid nice and tight. Make sure this lid does not pop off on you when you're spraying, because then your paint's just going to go all over your artwork. So now we can take this here. This is my handy dandy gun holder, so we'll leave that right here.
Alright guys, and the glasses help a lot because you can get closer to the paint job, watch what you're doing without damaging your eyes or without the dust and solvent spraying in your eyes. So highly recommend glasses. Again, thanks for Erwin for hooking it up.
Alright guys, this is gonna be the third coat. The second coat unfortunately was not recording, and my GoPro keeps shutting down and jamming on me. I don't know if you guys ever have this problem where it just jams and then you gotta take the battery out. Very irritating, but a very light coat the second coat was. We're gonna keep that, we're gonna keep it going the same way. We're just gonna build it up coat by coat, and then hopefully once it lays down and that paint melts in, or wait, there's a saying for it, it waves out or whatever it is, you know, once everything evaporates and the paint's left, it should mellow out and even out. So we'll see. Let's keep going. So what I meant to say previously is you're gonna paint it, let the paint settle and flow out. The paint has to flow out, and that flow creates that nice layer. So let's go ahead, apply. This is what this is the fourth light coat, and yeah, I mean it's a very slow process, but we don't want to run. We don't want to run again. So it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it applies. Alright guys, we have been out here all day painting and painting, and we're gonna get started with probably like the 7th or 8th coat right now. Every coat for the most part was very light, except the last one where I went over the same area about twice. Okay, so I just want to show you what it's looking right now. It's very grainy. It is not smooth. It's starting to get a little bit of shine, but I just wanted to point out one area that I went a little bit thicker, somewhere right over here. I mean, the camera, I'm sure, is not going to pick it up, but that area where I sprayed a little bit more paint right here cured nicely, a little bit more shiny compared to the other area. If you just keep putting in light coats here and don't make a nice wet coat, you just won't get a professional finish. This just looks dotty. And instead of the paint having its own texture, we still see the texture of the bumper. And if that's the way we're gonna leave it, this is gonna come out very unprofessional. It's not gonna come out looking clean. So the paint so far hasn't been giving me any problems with runs again, but I have been going very slow and not too thick on it. But I rather have a tiny bit of a run than giving it to the customer back like this. I personally wouldn't like a finish like this, and I'm sure my colleague won't either. So we're gonna risk it again. We're gonna go a little bit more aggressive, not crazy aggressive. Obviously we don't want to repaint it again for the 4th time, but we're gonna try to go a little bit thicker. So everything should be good. My gun was giving me a little bit of a problem earlier. I had some air hissing out of here, so we just put some more plumber's tape. Everything is nice and tight. We still got this much paint left. So paint, we have a lot of paint left, and yeah, so I'm excited. Let's lay down this next coat, and hopefully, cross our fingers, we get no runs and a nicer, smoother finish. Honestly, I'm even debating on just doing one final wet coat and calling it a day, because the more coats we do, obviously more debris is going to be falling into the paint job. But I don't want to go too heavy and too crazy and too wet, because I don't want to run. So at most I'll do 2 more coats semi-wet. Alright guys, it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We started painting this at around 8 in the morning. So about every 30 minutes we are slapping on a coat. The last coat we went pretty heavy, I mean medium wet, but this is gonna be the final coat, guys. This is gonna be it. So it's starting to look nice, slick. There is some contamination with dust, but you can't just get around that. Even Goon Squad painted their GTR in their shop, and they got a ton of contamination in there too, it looks like. So
it has to have a little bit of trash when you're painting inside the garage, but it looks absolutely amazing.
I'm gonna make it look as good as it can, and whether the owner wants to wet sand this and play around with it is up to him. But it is gonna be at the bottom of the car, so it's not gonna be that noticeable, and it's definitely looking better than what it did when it was cracked. So let's do, for the most part, one last coat. I have not changed the gun settings since we started spraying. The fluid tip, air pressure, fan pattern have been the same. I feel like I want to give it a little bit more fluid, but again, I don't want it to run, so I'd rather go slower over over one area multiple times than go too heavy in ones, because I'm still learning the gun control, the speed. So it's very tricky. It is not that easy, guys. And if you guys want to talk shit, go ahead, comment down below what you want to talk shit about. Again, this is a learning curve for me. I'm sure a lot of people like you are having a learning curve as well, painting with the Rustoleum paint. So let's go ahead, spray the last coat. Alright guys, this is the final product. The paint has been drying for a few hours. Even though it's not as clear as I would like it, it did come out okay. Definitely, I don't think it meets my standard of clarity. Again, someone can wet sand this, buff this out, but you know, buffing and wet sanding a small area like this, you're either gonna over sand an edge or you're gonna buff an edge out, and it's gonna lead to more problems. There are some stuff in the paint here. Obviously, painting in the garage isn't the best thing. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. Definitely, if you have any comments, recommendations, make sure you guys write something down below. I'm always down to improve my technique. I'm always down. One of the biggest problems I think I've had is the mixing ratio and the fluid tip delivery. Also, just moving the gun around smoothly, efficiently, and yeah, it takes a lot of practice. And again, practicing on something like this isn't ideal. Practicing on something like this that's flat, we just sprayed this today, much simpler. So anyway guys, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. We got more content coming, so we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the